Here's the exact step-by-step process to start an AI blog that can actually rank in Google and get you traffic. And near the end, I'll show you an optimization tweak that hardly anyone talks about, but it can significantly improve your results more than people expect. Now, all resources covered in this video are linked in the description box below, so it's easy for you to find them. Now, let's jump straight in. So before we start building your AI website, we need to solve the most important problem first. See, a lot of AI blogs fail for three main reasons. Either the content is low quality and clearly written by AI, or two, people write articles that no one is actually searching for, or three, they try to compete in spaces that are just far too competitive for a new site. And later in the video, I'll show you how to fix the content quality side of things as well. So before we build anything, we need to find topics that people are actually searching for, and topics that a new blog actually has a chance of ranking for. And the easiest way to do that is with the Keywords Everywhere tool. It's a simple browser extension that adds keyword data directly into the search results. Once it's installed, it shows you things like search volume, competition level, cost per click, and related keyword ideas, all while you're searching normally. Now, the Keywords Everywhere tool does have a free plan, but it won't show you the search volume or the competition data, which are the two pieces of information that we actually need. So I recommend upgrading to the bronze plan. It's $7 a month if you pay annually, and it's honestly one of the cheapest and most useful keyword research tools out there. It's going to save you a lot of money and a ton of time. So let me quickly show you how to use it so you can find decent low competition keywords that you can potentially rank for. So to start using Keywords Everywhere, go to Google and search for Keywords Everywhere Google Chrome extension. That will bring you to this page right here, where you can click this button to add this extension to your Google Chrome browser. Or if you're a Firefox user, just search it for Firefox and you'll be able to use this extension in Firefox too. Anyway, once it's installed, you'll see the icon in your browser in the tool tray at the top here. If you click on this, you can then access different features of Keywords Everywhere right here. Now, I'm not going to go into all the features of Keywords Everywhere in this video because there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube for that. But I'm going to show you quickly how to use it to find valuable low competition keywords that you can use for your new AI blog. So once you have this installed, you can see I'm currently using the bronze plan, but if this is your first time installing it, you'll probably see a button right here that will say to choose a subscription plan. So if you click on that button, you'll then be taken to this page where you can choose the bronze plan. Then once you've upgraded to bronze, you'll then be able to see the data that you need. So in which case, come back to the icon in your tool tray and just make sure that the Keywords Everywhere is switched on right here and you're good to go. And then I'll show you how to actually use it in the search results. Now for this video, we're going to build a demo site around a specific niche so you can see exactly how the process works. And the niche we're going to use is Notion templates for productivity. Now this is a great example because lots of people are searching for ways to organize their work, manage projects and improve productivity with Notion. And there are also plenty of opportunities to sell Notion templates that you create as well as promoting affiliate products. So now this is how you find valuable low competition keywords for your blog. So here we are in Google and we're going to first start off with a broad term like, for example, Notion templates. Now, because we've got the Keywords Everywhere extension active, you'll see under the keyword right here, we'll see the search volume, which is 110,000 searches a month. And this is the cost per click for paid ads, which we're just going to ignore for now. And then a competition score here of 0.26. Now this competition score goes from 0 to 1, 1 being the highest and meaning much harder to rank. So the lower the score, the better. And if we look in the sidebar right here, we can see some extra information, starting with a score for SEO difficulty, which is currently 47 out of 100. So generally for a new blog, you want to be keeping this under 50. So far so good. And you want to also make sure that the off-page difficulty is under 50, as well as the on-page difficulty under 50 as well for a new blog. Now I'm not going to go into detail on all of that in this video, otherwise this video will go on forever. But just for simplicity to get you started, just stick to that for now. And then if we also scroll down, we'll see other trending keywords related to Notion templates right here, and then also more related keywords and these long tail keywords down here. But what we're going to do is going to come back to the top and we're going to focus on this button right here that says find long tail keywords for Notion templates. So if I click on this button, now Keywords Everywhere is going to search for lots of long tail keywords related to Notion templates for us. Now I just quickly stopped the search at 24% complete, which has so far found us 259 keywords. The reason I stopped it is because this is just an example and this is going to be more than enough keywords for us to look at. And if I leave it running, it's going to use up more of my credits. So now, as we look at the keyword list down here, we can see the long tail keyword on the left-hand side. And the two columns we're really interested in is this first one, which is the monthly search volume, and this column right here, which is the competition score. So basically for a new blog, we're looking for long tail keywords that have a decent amount of search volume per month. So we want this number to be on the higher side, but we want then the competition to be, of course, lower. Now, Keywords Everywhere score goes from 0 to 1, 1 being the highest, which is then stronger competition, harder for you to rank. So we can see this keyword right here, Notion examples, gets a lot of search volume per month, and the competition is only 0.03. So that's a great one for us. But then this one, Notion templates for project management, pretty decent search volume, but the competition is actually quite high on that one. So you might want to avoid that one at the beginning while your blog's getting started. And here's another great one, Notion templates marketplace, and also Notion templates habit tracker. Search volume is 320, it's not bad. The competition is 0.42, so a little bit higher, but it should still be doable. And then this one here, Notion templates for students, got quite decent search volume, and the competition is fairly low. Now, as you explore different keyword variations, start building a list and write down between 30 to 50 different keywords that you could write articles about that would fit your niche. And then you can come to Google and check each of your keywords to further see the competition, to actually see who is ranking on page 1 for that keyword. So for example, this keyword from our list right here, Notion templates for students, search volume is 2,900 a month, which is great. Competition is 0.21, so not too high. Now, of course, for this particular type of keyword, we're going to see the brand Notion ranking at the top, and you're not going to outrank them. But if we scroll down, who else is ranking on page 1 for this keyword? So we see a Reddit post right here, but this website here called Path Pages, if I hover over where it says MozDA, the Keywords Everywhere tool is showing us the domain authority for this website, and it's only 17 out of 100, which is a good sign for us. So that means this is a low authority domain. So what you're looking for is you want to see at least one, but preferably more, low domain authority websites ranking on page 1 for your keyword. That means that you also have a potential chance to rank on page 1. So if you see websites with a domain authority of say 35 or lower, then that's a good sign for you to go ahead with that keyword. If, however, all sites on page 1 have a high domain authority of like 60 or more, you're probably going to want to avoid that keyword. So now repeat that process for each of your keywords, and you now have a ready-made content roadmap. And that clarity removes one of the biggest reasons why people quit blogging, which is not knowing what to write about. And now we can turn that direction into an actual website. Now, this is where most people rush ahead and get it wrong, because what you do next determines whether this whole thing stays organized or turns into chaos. Now, before we build the website, we need 2 quick things in place, a domain name and a simple site structure. So a lot of beginners jump straight into writing articles, and within a few weeks, the blog becomes messy, disorganized, and difficult to grow. So in this step, we're going to fix that by creating a simple site structure before we actually build anything. This will save you a lot of time and headaches later. But before that, let's start with a domain name. So since our demo niche is Notion templates for productivity, we want a domain name that supports that topic but still feels brandable and flexible. So open up ChatGPT and use this prompt. Suggest 15 brandable.com domain names for a blog in the Notion templates productivity niche. Of course, just change this for your niche. Keep them short, memorable, and suitable for building long-term authority. Now I'm going to give this to ChatGPT and see what names it comes up with for us. But the reason we're doing this is because we don't want a domain name that's overly long or stuffed with keywords or something that locks us into a very narrow topic. Okay, so here with this specific niche, we will see that ChatGPT has given us lots of names that actually sound quite good, but most of them have actually got Notion in the domain. Now, I should have actually said this in my prompt, but because this niche is around another business, this possibly might get you into some trade name issues. So just to avoid that, I would actually choose a domain that doesn't have the word Notion in it. So there's actually only one here without Notion in it. So this one, templateforge.com, quite like that. So what we want to do is first check if this domain name is available for us to actually use it. So I'm going to copy this domain name, and then head over to namecheap.com, and I'm going to throw the domain name in here, click search, and Namecheap will very quickly tell us if this is available for us to use or not. So we can see that someone else has actually registered this domain, so we can't use it, but there are actually a few alternatives that Namecheap is suggesting for us. That said though, I would personally prefer to stick with a .com or .net or .org. So we can come back to ChatGPT and just ask for more names. This time I'm just going to ask Chat to give us names that don't have the word Notion in it. So some of these look pretty decent, quite like this one right here, Workflow Atlas. Now let's just go and see if it's available for us to use. So we're going to give this domain name to Namecheap and see if this one's available. And again, no, that one's taken, but just for this demo, let's say this is the domain name we like. And if it's available for you to use, it will look like this. And you'll see a tick mark right here and you'll be able to purchase it. Now, we're not going to purchase this domain via Namecheap because in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can get your domain name for free. So we'll get to that in a minute. And now the second really important thing we need to do before we create our AI blog is to create a simple site structure. And to keep this really simple, this basically comes down to choosing the categories that we want to build our blog around. So back in ChatGPT here, I'm going to give this prompt to Chat now. Suggest 5 primary blog post categories for a website about Notion templates for productivity. Each category should be broad enough to support at least 20 articles. And let's see what Chat comes up with for us. So of course, whatever Chat does suggest, we can tweak it and change it as we want. But this will just help us to get going in the right direction and stop us from getting tangled up later on as our blog grows. So not only has chat suggested different categories for us here, but it's also given us some example article ideas that can go into each category too, which is great. So the categories that ChatGPT is suggesting is number 1, Notion templates, number 2, productivity systems, number 3, Notion tutorials, 4, we've got use case guides, and 5, template building and customization. Now that's great for us to get started with, and of course, as our blog grows, we can add more categories as we need them. Now, this is really important because without categories, your blog quickly becomes random. But when your content is grouped into clear topics, readers can navigate your site more easily, your articles can start supporting each other through internal links, and search engines can clearly see what your site's about. Now, remember those 20 or 30 keyword ideas that we created earlier? Well, you could organize them manually, or you can get ChatGPT to do the sorting for you. So back in ChatGPT right here, I'm in the same chat window where ChatGPT suggested our categories for us. So I'm just going to say, these categories are great, let's go with these ones. Next, below is a list of keywords for my blog about Notion templates. Please organize these keywords into our categories. If any keyword doesn't fit well, suggest a better or new category for them. So I'm just going to paste those keywords in right here and submit this to ChatGPT and allow it to put these into the categories for us. And there we go. ChatGPT has now organized all our keywords into the correct categories for us. And what this does is it quickly turns your list of keywords into a structured content plan, which is going to save you a ton of time later. So at this point, you now have 3 important pieces in place. You have your domain name idea, you've got your categories, and you've got your structured content plan. And now we can move on to the fun step, which is actually building our website with AI. Now, here's where most beginners make a small mistake that can cost them months. So let's get this set up the right way. So in this step, I'm going to show you how to get your new website online quickly without getting lost in the technical setup. And of course, we're going to now build our new website with AI. And for this, we're going to use Bluehost. Because for starting a blog, especially when you're just getting going, Bluehost works well because it's simple, affordable, and gets you live quickly without technical headaches. Now, I've left a link in the description box below this video to a special deal with Bluehost. I can't, of course, guarantee that deal's going to last forever, so I highly recommend you jump on it while it's available. And when you click on that link, it's going to bring you to this page right here. And you then want to come up to the menu and hover over WordPress and select first option right here, WordPress hosting. And on this page, if we scroll down, we will find the special offer pricing right here, which will save you 62% off your plan. Now, bear in mind, this is based on a 36-month term, but if you wanted a shorter term, like a 24-month or 12-month term, then you can opt for that when you click choose your plan. But bear in mind, the discount does change a little bit depending on the term length that you select. Anyway, you can just go ahead with a starter plan, and this will allow you to build up to 10 websites. You'll also get your domain free for the first year. You also get a free CDN to help your website load faster, free SSL certificate, and free malware scanning and other cool stuff. So go ahead and click choose plan. And now this is where we can register our domain name for free. So the one I was going to go with, I found on Namecheap, is this one right here. And then click search for domain. This extension isn't actually supported, so Bluehost suggesting a few other extensions. I'm going to go with the .net right here. And on this page, we can customize things a bit more and get it a bit cheaper. For example, with the recommended add-ons, I don't want to keep this SiteLock Essentials, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I only want to have the starter hosting selected here. And then for your term, the longer you have it, the cheaper it's going to be per month. But if you just want to give it a go for a year, this is going to significantly reduce what you pay now, or you can even pay monthly if you prefer to. However, if you pay monthly, then you don't get the domain for free. So just bear that in mind. So I'm just going to keep it for 1 year hosting. So I'm going to finish signing up by filling out my details, and I'll be back with you in a sec. So one feature I particularly like with Bluehost is that they now have an AI website builder, which is what I'm going to show you how to set up next. So once you're inside your Bluehost account, navigate to websites on the left side. You can click on add website right here and then click on WordPress admin. And then on this page, you can click this button right here to get Bluehost's AI to build your website for you. So if we click on this, we first just need to tell Bluehost a little bit of information about our website first. So the name of our site is Workflow Atlas. Type of site, let's just go for personal. And site description, I'm going to say a blog that shares best Notion templates, productivity systems, and workflow ideas for students, freelancers, and small business owners. Going to hit next. And now if you already have a logo created, you can drag and drop it right here, or you can click this button right here to get Bluehost AI to create it for you. So let's do this one. And then hit generate. And Bluehost will take just a few seconds to come up with 3 different logo designs for you to choose from. Okay, not bad. Now, if you didn't like any of these, you can click the generate more button to get more designs. But just for speed, I'm going to go with this one and then set it as my site logo. Now, I could go back and change this later if I wanted to as well. So it's not the end of the world if you change your mind. And then we're going to click on the next button. And now Bluehost gets to work creating your site. Okay, and Bluehost now has come up with 3 different layouts for us, and we can preview these by clicking the button right here and take a look at the design of this site. Now, I quite like this. This looks really nice. Or we have this other option right here, and this also looks pretty decent too. And the third option that Bluehost came up with for us is this one. Now, I think I like the first one best, so I'm going to go back to this one. And so this is what our homepage will look like. So I'm going to go ahead with this. Now, if you're happy with this, you can click the Save and Publish button in the top right corner. Or if you want to make some changes, you can click this Customize with AI. So let's see what happens when we click this button. And now Bluehost has pulled this design into our WordPress editor right here. So at this point, you can start editing your site, both manually or with AI. So for example, if I wanted to click anywhere on here, I can change the content right here. And I can also even change the background image. If I select the whole block, click on Replace, and I can click on Open Media Library and drag and drop my new image in here. Or alternatively, I can give prompts down here to Bluehost AI to make changes for me. For example, I could ask the AI to make this call to action button red, submit this to Bluehost, and there we go. In a couple of seconds, Bluehost AI has made that change for us. You can do that with absolutely anything at all on your website, which is super handy. Okay, now let's make one more change to the homepage before moving on. So what I'd like to do is see underneath this hero section right here, we've got 6 smaller sections, and I want to match these with the 6 categories that ChatGPT came up with for us to help us structure our site. So I'm going to come down to the prompt box in the bottom right, and I'm going to give Bluehost AI this prompt: update the 6 sections underneath the hero image to reflect the 6 categories we will use for this site. Each of these categories should link to the respective category page. Make each image relevant to each category. So I also want Bluehost to update these images too if necessary. And then here are the categories. So I just give a list of the categories, and that's it. Let's give this to Bluehost and see what the change is like once it implements this for us. Okay, so Bluehost has made the changes for us, but I did actually make a little mistake in explaining this. So I was referring to these sections when I was explaining it to you, but each of these are actually blog posts. So the category sections are this section right here. And this is what Bluehost has now changed for us. So as you can see, each of these matches one of our 6 categories. So let's ask for one more change. I'm just going to move this above the blog post section. And I also want to make sure that each of the category pages are using the category name for each URL of each category page. So I'm just asking the AI here to adjust the category URL slug to match the category name exactly. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, just follow along and do the same. And then I'm also asking, also move the category section, which is this section right here, above the blog post section on the homepage. Let's click submit, and the AI should just take a few seconds to implement this change for us. Okay, so it took a couple more prompts, but I got the AI to do what I asked and put the categories underneath the main header image. And basically you can keep prompting the AI to make changes for you, or you can even put manual changes in like this. So if I went to add a column here and select a row, and then I can also choose a heading and write something like, check out our blog posts. I'm just going to put that in the center. So it just makes it a bit more clear what's what on your website. Anyway, you get the idea. This is very simple and actually really fun to work with. And at any point, if you've navigated away from the AI prompt assistant like I have done right here, you can see the sidebar on the right has changed now. All it needs to do is click on this little icon right here to come back to the AI prompting section. So now let's say you're happy with this homepage, you'll come up to the top right, click on save. Then we can come to this button right here and see what our live homepage looks like so far. So this is looking pretty nice. It's only taken a couple of minutes to put this together. So that's pretty impressive for Bluehost AI. Now, once you're happy with your homepage design, you can come up to the top left and click on this little icon, and you'll see this sidebar opens on the side right here, where you can adjust things like styles, set up your navigation menu, or you can see the pages that are currently set up on your site, which are these ones right here. So Bluehost has already set these pages up for you, or you can add more pages right here, as well as seeing various templates that you have access to, patterns, which is essentially different elements that you can pull into any of your WordPress posts or pages. So there's a lot to explore here, but this sidebar navigation makes it really simple for you to move around quickly and get your site set up. And then if you want to access your main WordPress dashboard from your Bluehost dashboard right here, you can see I've got websites selected on the left-hand side. And now this bottom website is the one we're working on. All I need to do is click on this button that says WordPress admin. And that'll bring us into the main admin area of your WordPress website. And it will look something like this. So just for orientation, in the left sidebar menu, you will see your pages right here. And these are the pages that Bluehost AI has already set up for you. So this is the homepage that we've currently been working on. So I can click to view the homepage right here, as well as the blog page that Bluehost has set up for us, which currently looks like this. So this will display all of your blog posts automatically as and when you publish a blog post. And here's the about page that Bluehost has set up for you. So again, it's already written the content as well. This is just based on that very first prompt at the very beginning when we first told Bluehost what our website is about. So this is pretty impressive, and it's going to save you a lot of time. And likewise, Bluehost has already set up a contact page for you as well, looking very professional here. And of course, you can edit this as much as you want. And to edit any of these pages, all you need to do is click on the edit button where you'll be brought into the WordPress page editor and you can start to make your changes. And when it comes to your blog posts, they all live under this section right here, labeled as posts. So if we click on all posts, we will see that Bluehost AI has already actually created 6 posts for us. Well, not quite. What it's done is it's set up some dummy posts that are related to our niche and just put a little bit of content and an image. So that's all that they've done. So if you don't want any of these posts, you can just delete them. Or if you'd like to keep it, then it's just a matter of creating new content and adding that content to these pages. And then any new posts that you create going forwards, you just click on the button at the top here, labeled Add Post, to add your new posts. Now at this point, you've officially gone from idea to a working website, but this is also where beginners make another mistake. They get the site live and then they immediately jump into generating articles with AI. And that's exactly where most AI blogs start to fall apart. Because generating content is easy, but creating content that's structured to compete is a completely different game. And that's what we're about to build next. Okay, quick pause here. If you're getting value from this video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. On this channel, I share step-by-step guides on how to simplify the tech side of your business to help you be more productive, how to actually use AI and other smart tools the right way, and how to turn those tools into systems that can potentially bring in more revenue. So if that sounds good to you, then I'd love you to be a subscriber so you don't miss what comes next. So to create content, a lot of people now would open ChatGPT and type something like, write a 2,000 word blog post on whatever topic, and then just publish whatever comes out. Now, the problem is those articles often don't rank because they're not structured around what Google is already rewarding. So in this step, I'm going to show you how to create an article that's already aligned with the pages that are already ranking on page 1 in Google. So for that, we're going to use an AI tool called Phrase. So Phrase looks at all the top ranking articles for your chosen keyword or topic. Then it analyzes all the headings, all the sections in that article, all the questions that people want to know about it, the topics they cover, and the important keywords that should be placed in that article and how many times they should be in that article too. In other words, it helps you to reverse engineer what Google already thinks is a great article for your chosen keyword. And that gives you a massive advantage, especially when you're starting a new website. So here we are in Phrase, and I'm going to choose this top option to generate rank-ready articles with AI. So select this option, and now in this prompt box, I'm going to enter my keyword for my article. So for this demo site about Notion templates, the article I'm going to write first is Notion templates for productivity. You can select your word length. So Phrase can actually write really lengthy articles for you. I'm just going to select 2,000 words for now, but we'll get the opportunity to refine that later depending on what word count is needed for our article. Anyway, for now, let's click Generate. And once you do that, Phrase will now analyze the top 20 articles currently ranking in Google for that keyword. Now this takes usually just a couple of minutes, but beyond just analyzing the actual articles that are ranking already for this keyword, Phrase also does some extra deep research for you to find all the questions that people have on this topic. And it does that by searching Reddit and Quora posts, as well as searching the People Also Ask section in Google. Then based on all this information, it comes up with your outline right here for your articles. This is the suggested outline that Phrase thinks should be good for your article. Now at this point, we can notice that Phrase has found 26 different articles to base our article on, and it's created the outline for us here. But before we go ahead and ask Phrase to write the first draft of this article, it's important to bear in mind that we don't really want Phrase to write our article based on 26 different articles. That's just too many. And also, if we look through here, some of these aren't so relevant to our article. For example, this one, 99 free Notion templates for everything. It's a bit too far removed for Notion templates for productivity, I would say, as well as this article down here about Notion redesign. So what you can do is you can come up to this little cog icon right here and just deselect any article that you don't want your article to be based on. So I've just deselected a few and click save, and now I'm left with 17 articles. There's still quite a lot to base it on. Usually I wouldn't have quite as many as that, but this is just a demo for you guys. And now here, if we take a look at our outline that Phrase is suggesting for us, if you want to delete anything, you can click the trash icon on any of these headings, as well as clicking this icon right here to add more headings if you want to, or rewrite any of these headings yourself as well. Now, just for speed, I'm going to go ahead and click Generate Article, and now Phrase will create the first draft of our article for us. And this usually only takes a minute or two. So now Phrase has created the first draft of our article, and it's giving us an overall score of 65%. So if I click on this button, we can review the full article, which we can see right here. And we can see in the bottom corner, the word count for this article is just over 3,000 words. So that's a pretty decent length. And you'll also notice that Phrase has also included links in your article too, where it's citing sources. So this is excellent. However, you will also notice in the intro, I'd say this intro is a little bit long, but Phrase has also added links in the intro, which is not ideal. I wouldn't have links in the intro, but this is good for the first draft. And also we can see that Phrase has created an image for us with AI too. And in the sidebar, we've got an overall optimization score of 68%. But when it comes to SEO, this article is already very well SEO optimized with a score of 82%. This is based on all of these keywords that need to be in our article and phrases showing you exactly how many times each keyword has been mentioned in the article. So there's a few missing, as we can see, which are the grey ones right here. So we can get this score up to 100 by just adding a few of these keywords in, or this one, project management. It's already in the article twice, but it just needs to be mentioned one more time to get this up to a green score. And then if I close this SEO optimization score window, we will also see the GEO optimization, which is 54%. So this refers to how well LLMs like ChatGPT or Claude or Grok will be able to find and cite your article. So if we open this up, Phrase also gives us some more tips on how we can get this score up to 100 too. Now, it's not necessary to get it to 100, but generally the higher the better. So now this article is actually pretty good as it is, but it does still sound a little bit like AI if you read it. And we want it to be enjoyable and shareable for human readers too. So next, I'm going to show you how to humanize this article very quickly, as well as boosting the overall SEO score to make sure your article has the best chance of ranking in Google and being found by LLMs. So what we want here is an article that sounds natural and readable while still keeping the structure and the keywords that help it rank. So to do that, we're going to be using ChatGPT, but you could also use Claude or Grok if you prefer. So first thing we want to do is come to Phrase, and I'm actually first going to right click on this image and save it to my computer so I can add it back into my article later. Next, we want to click on the SEO optimization score and open this window. And then right here, there's these little dots menu that's very easy to miss. If you click on that, you will see the top option from the drop down menu says export to CSV. So I'm going to click on this. So this will now download all of these keywords to a CSV file along with how many times each keyword should be mentioned in my article. So this is going to save me a lot of time putting these keywords in the article manually. And then the third step we want to do is copy our entire article. I'm just going to get rid of that subheading. We don't need that there. So I'm just going to copy this whole article all the way down to the bottom. I'm then going to go to ChatGPT and paste in our entire article from Phrase. I'm then going to just make a space and put a few dashes just to separate that article. And next, I'm going to copy paste the keyword list that we just downloaded from our Phrase article, along with the number of times that each keyword should appear in our article. Next, I'm going to make a space again and a couple of lines. And next, now we're going to give our prompts to ChatGPT to tell it what we want it to do with this information. And now here is our prompt. So you can pause this video if you want and take a screenshot of this if you want to use the same prompt. But what we're asking ChatGPT to do here is, first of all, telling it that you are an SEO expert and a blog content strategist. Rewrite this article in a natural, friendly and conversational tone while still being professional. Write how real people talk and do not use words and phrases that people don't usually use in normal everyday conversation. Preserve the SEO structure and headings. Use the attached LSI keyword list and ensure each keyword appears in the recommended number of times. Optimize for NLP, semantic search, entity recognition and large language model retrieval. Improve clarity, reduce repetition, remove all fluff, maintain strong search intent alignment and add relevant high authority citation links in your article where appropriate by hyperlinking relevant words or phrases in the article. Do not remove essential SEO elements. Maintain correct H2 and H3 heading and subheading structure. Write approximately 1,000 words per response and wait for me to say continue before proceeding. Now I'm going to submit this to ChatGPT and get it to start writing for us. Now by breaking the article down into chunks and getting it to write just the first 1,000 words only, this way the quality usually stays higher and the writing becomes more natural rather than getting it to write the whole article in one go. So now ChatGPT has written the first part of our article. So I'm just going to copy this at the moment into a Word doc. Then I'm going to prompt Chat to write the next bit. So continue doing this until ChatGPT has written all sections of your article, put it together in your Word doc. Then we're going to head back to our article in Phrase and we're going to highlight all the content. And first of all, note that the SEO score from the first draft that Phrase wrote for us was 82%. So I'm going to delete all of this content and now paste in the entire article that ChatGPT just wrote for us. And we can now see that our SEO score is 100% because ChatGPT has included all those keywords for us and written this article in a much more conversational tone and style. And ChatGPT has also included authority links for us too. The only thing left now to do is to tidy up your article by deleting a few things you don't need and making sure that the headings are correctly set as H2 or H3, just like this. And this just takes a couple of minutes. Now, when you do this, most of the time your SEO and your GEO score improves and your article reads more naturally. And that's exactly what we want. You now have an article that matches search intent, covers the right topics, includes the important keywords, and actually feels like it's being written by a real person. And that balance gives your article a much better chance of competing in the search results, especially when you're starting a brand new site. So next, we're going to jump back into our WordPress blog in Bluehost and set up our article ready for publishing. So here we are back in our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to go to the top left right here and click on Add Post. And the first thing we need to do is paste in our title for our article, then head back to Phrase and copy the whole content of our article all the way down to the bottom. Then head back over to our WordPress blog and paste in our content. So here is our full article in our editor for our WordPress blog. Then you want to come up to the top right and see this little icon here, which is called Yoast SEO. So this is the SEO plugin that Bluehost has added to your website for you. Now Yoast is pretty good, but if you want a more advanced SEO plugin, personally I choose to use Rank Math. It's also available for free and you can add it to your WordPress site. But just for speed, we're going to roll ahead with Yoast because it's already installed by Bluehost. So where it says keyword phrase, you just want to paste in your primary keyword phrase, which for this article is Notion templates for productivity. And we want to make sure that this keyword is appearing in our article, and we definitely want it in the title. So I'm just going to actually change this title to include our keyword. So here's our keyword right here now. And I'd also personally want to have it appearing once in the introduction, once in the first H2 title on our page, and once in the conclusion. That's where I'm going to put the primary keywords. Let me just do that. So now I've got my primary keyword in this article in a few key places. You can then spend a few minutes in the right sidebar here going through the steps that the SEO plugin is advising you to make to help improve the SEO of your article. Now, there's one technical detail that quietly affects performance, but most blog tutorials don't even mention it, but it can make a huge difference to your site. So here's a quick way to fix it. So the issue is related to the images that you use on your website and in your articles. See, most people upload images direct from their phone or images with massive file sizes or the wrong file type, and they don't compress them, and that can negatively impact how fast your website loads. So you can write a great article, but if your page loads slowly, then people often leave before they even read it. And when people leave quickly, search engines take that as a sign that your page is crap, and as a result, search engines drop your rankings. So let me show you how to fix this issue. Now to do this, before we upload our images to our website, we want to optimize them first. So start by opening Canva, because with Canva, you can use it for free to resize your images to the correct size. So in Canva here, if we come to custom size, two main image sizes you're going to use for your articles are this one, which is 1200 by 800 pixels. And that's typically used for a featured image in a blog post. For example, this image right here, this is the featured image for this article, which is the first image at the very top of the article. And the second image size that I personally use in blog posts is this one right here, which is 1200 by 650 pixels. And this size is for images like this one that will appear in the middle of your content. So to start with, let's quickly create a 1200 by 650 image to go in the body of the article. And secondly, I'll show you how to create a featured image with AI. And then thirdly, I'll show you an additional optimization tweak to ensure that your images and your articles load quickly. So first of all, with this 1200 by 650 image size selected, I'm in the Canva editor now, and I'm going to search for an image on productivity. Now, of course, if you've got your own images, then you can just drag and drop them into your Canva dashboard right here. But for speed, I'm just going to grab this image. Actually, that's a bit of a crap one. Let's just go with this image. Also not great, but it's just an example for you guys. So I'm just going to stretch this out and make it fit my boundary for 1200 by 650 pixels. So I think that's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to come up to share in the top right corner, click on download, make sure this is set to PNG and download this to my computer. Now, before I upload this image to my website, I do need to do one more optimization step to it first. But before we do that, let's now make our featured image for our blog post. And to do that, we're going to use AI. So here we are now in Sora, and I found Sora to be great for creating featured images for blog posts. So if you come down to the prompt box in the bottom right here, make sure you've got image selected. And for the aspect ratio, make sure you've got it set to 3.2. And the prompt I'm going to give to Sora is this one. Create a featured image for a blog post titled, and then here's my blog post title. And then I've just asked Sora to make the image look realistic, eye-catching and trendy, or whatever you want it to look like. If you want it to look classy or futuristic or what have you. So I'll submit this to Sora, and Sora will take a couple of minutes to whip this up for us. Okay, so that took less than a minute, and these are the two featured images that Sora whipped up for us. So these look really nice. I personally think I like this one on the left a bit more. So I'm going to click on this one and click on the download button here to download that to my computer. Next, we need to hop back into Canva here to set the correct size for that featured image for our blog post. So this time it's 1200 by 800. And I'm going to drag and drop that image from Sora into Canva and then position it where I want and stretch it out to fill the section. Come up to the top right, click on share and then click on download. Got PNG selected and click download one more time. And now this is downloading to my computer. So now at this point we have our two images, but we need to make one more optimization tweak before we upload them to our website. And to do that, we need to use another free tool, which is PicFlow's image file converter. So this is another free tool, and like all the tools I've shown in this video, link is in the description below this video to this exact page so it's easy for you to find it. So basically what we want to do before we upload our images to our website is convert them all to a WebP file. This will make them load so much faster and prevent your images from slowing down your website, which is one of the main things that do slow down websites. So now, because I downloaded those images from Canva as a PNG file, I had to come to this box here and select PNG. But if your image is a JPG, for example, or anything else, then just select the current image file type from this drop down and then make sure this one stays on WebP. Now at this point, all you need to do is drag and drop your images in this box right here. So I'll just drag mine in right now. So here's both my images. All I need to do is click on this purple button to convert all, and pretty much instantly, they're both now converted to WebP. I can then click on the download link for each of these images and they're downloaded now to my computer. And now at this point, our images are correctly optimized and ready to upload to our website. So here back in our article, first of all, I'm going to upload the featured image. So come to the right sidebar, click on set featured image. I'm going to drag and drop the featured image in here. So this is the larger of the two images, the 1200 by 800, which we used Sora AI to create for us. So now this is uploaded, make sure you always fill in the alt text right here. Very important. And then click set featured image in the bottom right corner. And now we see in the sidebar that our image has been set as the featured image. And for the second image, we're going to place inside the body of the content. I'm going to put it right after this title here. So I'm just going to make a space, click on the plus button, add the image icon. I'm just going to centralize this image element, click on media library. And now I'm going to drag and drop our other image in, which is the 1200 by 650. I'm going to add my alt tag, click select. And now here's our image inside our article, both correctly sized and correctly optimized. Now, if I hit save draft in the top right, we can then click the preview icon to see what our article looks like so far. Now here's what our article looks like at the moment, and it's shaping up quite nicely. Now, once your article is published, the final thing you're going to want to do is get it indexed in Google Search Console and ideally in Bing Webmaster Tools as well. This way, search engines can discover your content much faster. I'm not going to walk through that setup because there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube to show you how to do it. It just takes a few minutes, but it will help your blog grow much more quickly. Now, the big thing to understand is this. One article isn't going to change your life, of course. What actually gets results is repetition. You've now got a system: keyword research, structure, writing, optimization, and publishing. It's now just repeating the process consistently across multiple articles. That's how blogs grow and become successful. And if you want to see the best AI tools to speed up your content creation workflow, then watch this video here next.